Hi, my name's Jonathan, back at the Dice Cup, and today I'm joined by...
Karina.
and Matt. And we just finished playing Khora, Rise of an Empire, which is a pure engine building game. So this is my player board. Everyone gets their own sort of faction, so I was Corinth in this case. Matt was Argos.
Selling cheap toys.
And you're going to have some special abilities, which I'll come back to. You also have a bunch of tracks. So there's these 4 tracks here. While I'm talking about this, Matt, could you just turn the board around? I just noticed it's upside down, which is not very helpful. But there are a bunch of phases you're going to play through the game. So there's an event at the start of every round. So for example, it doesn't happen immediately, but you're going to lose 2 money at the end of this round. So there's something to be aware of that's going to come up. Then you're going to gain tax according to the tax track. So one of these tracks in the middle here is your tax. So I was blue, I would be getting 6 money from the bank. That's great, in the tax phase. And there's various ways of increasing your tax as you go through the game. But then crucially, you roll your dice. So you roll your dice, and whatever numbers you get are going to indicate the power of the actions that you can take, kind of. So you then look at a bunch of actions, and everyone has the same actions. So you can see I've got 3 of them out here: trade, military, development. But there's 7 actions you can pick from, and these are quite important. So philosophy lets you get a philosophy token, these things, and I'll explain what they do later because they're quite important. You could also do legislation, gain 3 citizens. So citizens is one of the tracks, and the reason you want citizens is because, let's say I've picked these 3 actions, then although probably I would have put this one on that action, you sort of assign the dice to the actions. So as long as the action you're taking is not higher than the dice you've assigned to it, there's not a problem. But if I decide it like this, then because this is 2 higher than the dice I've assigned, I would have to spend 2 citizens on the track. So citizens effectively let you mitigate bad dice rolls, because if you haven't rolled very highly and you want to play high actions, you're going to need those citizens. On the legislation card, well, you get some citizens, and it also then lets you pick some cards. There's like a deck of cards, and cards will give you potentially instant bonuses. This gets you 3 philosophy tokens, or permanent abilities. This gets me 2 soldiers whenever I take a trade action. Or there are some endgame scoring ones, which I didn't actually get. There's one here, for example, the brown ones. So this will get you 3 points. That's the victory point symbol there. For every card you still got in your hand at the end of the game. So there's various different cards you can play, and you get the cards with this action. Culture is very straightforward. You get victory points equal to your current culture level. So on your board here, I'll knock them off, you're going to have a culture level. So the level of each of these tracks is just on the left. So my culture level currently is 4, so I can play that and get 4 points. 3 is trade. So this is one way of getting money. You get 1 more money than your current economy level. So this track, which I got all the way to the top, if I took this action, I would get 8 money, 1 more than 7. And then I can buy tokens. Now these tokens are quite important. There's 3 different colours of tokens, and you can fight in the combat section to get them, but you can also buy them with trade. So if you spend money when you take the trade action, you can get one of these tokens, which will score you points at the end of the game. Military. So you get troops, which get added onto the troop track here, and then you can go exploring, which basically means you conquer a land. So if I were to conquer this land here, I would need to have 4 troops, 2 of them would die, and then I would get 2 VPs, and I would claim this token. So exploring is a way of like getting points and getting the tokens, which I'll come back to. 5 is politics, so you can play one of the cards from your hand. So legislation gets the cards, but politics lets you play them onto the table and then they do their thing. And where are we up to? Developments. Yeah, so unlock the next development tile. So I said everyone has special abilities here. So for instance, at the start of the game, I get 4 money. I can then increase my tax level by the number of these tokens I have. But in order to increase this, it kind of starts off at the bottom here. You have to take the development action, which is that one. So you want to do it potentially 3 times in the game. You get some permanent abilities and some endgame scoring. So at the end of the game, I was getting 2 points for each one of these tokens I have. So each faction is going to do it differently, but you can have something effectively to aim for. Once we've all taken our actions, then you do progress, and this is how these tracks move up. So to move this one up 1, I'd have to spend 6 money. It's whatever space you're moving into. And when you go up, you get the things at the side. So that would increase my tax level by 1. This will get me citizens, this will get me points, etc. And there's one track I haven't really explained. Well, I mean, the military track, this one effectively tells you how many soldiers you're going to get when you explore. But also, the wreath symbol here is glory, which is the last of the tracks on here. At the end of the game, You take however many glory you got, and you multiply it by these tokens that have got wreaths on them, and you get that many points. And you only get the wreaths from actually going out exploring and doing the combat. You can't get them just by trading and buying them. So that's why you really want to go out and do some fighting if you can. And the last phase of every round is you can do the milestone things. There's a few things we're aiming for. So the first person to play 3 cards gets to claim this, and they can increase their glory or increase their tax rate. First person to get 4 economy, 6 soldiers, 12 citizens, or 10 points. So there's a few things that you're racing for. Once somebody's got this, no one else can claim it, although 2 people can get it at the same time. You play this over a bunch of rounds, effectively counted by the number of events, and at the end, whoever has the most points is the winner. What do we think?
It was really good, surprisingly so. It looks like a lot. There are a lot of tiny bits and pieces, and it's very kind of 2D, so you don't really know what to expect. But it's really good if you like deck builders, if you like Euro games. Really good fun. Really good card combos. Like you can do various combinations with your actions that are really nice, and because it's asymmetrical, you can kind of figure out what your goal is, kind of what your strategy should be. So we all played really differently depending on the randomized kind of faction we got. It was really good fun. I'd definitely play it again, and it's gorgeous. So that's also plus.
Matt?
I got absolutely slaughtered. So, like Karina says, you get randomly assigned a city card, and that kind of gives you a type of game that you want to be playing. Unfortunately, I got a military kind of card, and so did Scott, who's not in the video. But his seemed to be a much better one. So I thought, oh, okay, cool, I'm going for a military strategy, shouldn't be too bad. Picked cards and stuff like that. Didn't really look at what Scott's card gave him, and if I had done, maybe I should have just forgot about military and done something else, because I thought I was doing pretty well, but at the end of the game, Scott almost lapped me. But I did enjoy the game, and I would definitely play it again. Now that I've seen it and know what things mean, hopefully I do a little bit better next time. But yeah, I think it's a solid game.
Okay, rating?
I think I would probably give it an 8.5.
Okay, rating out of 10?
I think it's 7 for me.
Okay.
I think somewhere there, yeah, 7.
All right. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It is a pure engine builder through and through. They've kind of tried to add some theme on it, and it does look pretty. The artwork's very nice, I think. But the theme is quite thin, to be honest. They're just going up on tracks and trying to maximise the combination of the cards with the different actions. The action selection's really nice. The decision making in terms of which dice do you use, do you have enough citizens, should you be spending actions to get more citizens? That's really interesting, gives you lots to think about, but there are plenty of ways of mitigating your luck. One thing I didn't mention actually is those scrolls. These things here. When you go up on the progress, you can only go up on 1 track, 1 space, but you can spend a scroll to go up 1 extra space. Obviously, you've got to spend the money, but that can be a big deal because that's really your engine. If you get those tokens up early in the game, you can be generating more money, or you can get more points when you take the culture action. It can really make a big difference. So very satisfying. It's tight, doesn't take too long. I think as an engine building game goes, it's perfect really. I couldn't fault it. In terms of my enjoyment of the game, I think I'll be on an 8.5. It's really solid. All right, thanks for watching. That was Khora, Rise of an Empire.